Another day, another story. Athena Walker is a self-identified psychopath who has shared her experiences and insights online, particularly on platforms like Quora, where she gained attention for her posts on psychopathy. Some readers have questioned the authenticity of her claims, but there is no concrete public evidence proving she is fake or not genuinely a psychopath. Welcome to Taboo Eminent Channel. Her posts often describe behaviors and thought processes that align with traits associated with psychopathy, such as lack of empathy and emotional detachment. But psychopathy is a complex personality disorder that can only be diagnosed by professionals using specific criteria, such as the Hare Psychopathy Checklist. Since her identity and diagnosis aren't verified by mental health professionals in a public forum, some skepticism naturally arises. However, whether or not she's being truthful is hard to confirm without more concrete evidence or personal background verification. Athena Walker first came into the spotlight on Quora, where she began sharing detailed answers about psychopathy, attracting curiosity and sometimes controversy. Her writing provides a first-hand perspective on what she claims it's like to live as a high-functioning psychopath. She often discusses topics like emotional detachment, manipulation, and the inability to experience certain emotions like empathy or guilt in the same way others do. In her posts, Athena emphasizes that psychopathy is a personality trait that doesn't necessarily mean someone will become a criminal or violent, which goes against many stereotypical views. She describes being able to navigate the world through logical reasoning and strategic thinking rather than emotional impulses. According to her accounts, this ability helps her in areas like business, leadership, and maintaining control in stressful situations. Her perspective also touches on the everyday experience of living with psychopathy, such as understanding that others experience emotions differently and learning to mimic those emotional responses to fit in socially. Athena's posts are often calm, analytical, and insightful, but they can come across as unnerving because they depict a life guided by logic over emotion. However, as she has not publicly provided any proof of an official diagnosis, some readers question her authenticity. The idea of someone claiming to be a psychopath while presenting themselves in a controlled, intellectual manner raises doubts. People wonder if Athena's persona might be exaggerated or crafted to fit a certain image for the sake of gaining attention or popularity online. The skepticism deepens when considering that psychopathy is generally diagnosed through professional evaluation, and there's no way to confirm if Athena has undergone this process. Additionally, the anonymity of the internet makes it difficult to validate her identity or experiences. Despite this, many of her posts resonate with readers and generate discussion around the nature of psychopathy and how society perceives it. Whether Athena Walker is a real psychopath or not, her posts have fueled conversations about what psychopathy is beyond the typical media portrayal. They have also invited questions about how much we can trust the identities and stories people present online, especially regarding mental health conditions that are so often misunderstood or sensationalized. Athena Walker's story also taps into a larger narrative about society's fascination with psychopathy. The general public often associates psychopathy with violent criminals, serial killers, or ruthless leaders, thanks to portrayals in movies, television, and true crime stories. These portrayals reinforce a belief that all psychopaths are dangerous, manipulative, or inherently harmful to those around them. Athena, however, paints a different picture. She has described herself as a successful individual, using her psychopathic traits to her advantage in a professional setting. According to her, the lack of emotional attachment allows her to remain calm under pressure, make rational decisions without emotional interference, and excel in leadership roles. This version of psychopathy, as she describes it, does not fit the typical Hollywood stereotype but instead shows someone functioning successfully within society. Her story also highlights the notion of high-functioning psychopathy, a concept that some psychologists believe explains how certain individuals with psychopathic traits can avoid criminal behavior, maintain relationships, and succeed professionally. Athena often emphasizes that she is not violent or dangerous but rather someone who operates differently from others in terms of emotional responses. Yet, the lingering question remains: is her story credible? Critics often point to the anonymity of the internet and how easy it can be to create a persona that fits a narrative. Some suggest that her calm, controlled way of writing might be crafted deliberately to project the image of a calculating, emotionless person, which would be consistent with someone trying to pass as a psychopath. At the same time, her defenders argue that Athena has never encouraged harmful behavior or tried to glorify psychopathy. In fact, much of her advice centers around self-awareness and managing relationships with others. She has even spoken about the importance of understanding one's own weaknesses and working within them. Athena's narrative also sparks a broader conversation about how much we should trust the identities people present online, particularly when those identities claim to be tied to a mental health condition or personality disorder. Online, it's easy to adopt a persona that may not align with reality, and while Athena's claims may feel authentic to some, they raise important questions about the nature of online storytelling and self-diagnosis. In a world where people increasingly seek mental health information online, stories like Athena Walker's bring up issues about reliability, truth, and how much stock we should place in anonymous accounts. Whether or not she is a fake psychopath, her writings continue to generate debate and reflection on the complex nature of psychopathy, both in its real-life implications and its portrayal in popular culture. Critics argue that anyone could claim to be a psychopath online, especially given how easy it is to research and mimic the traits of psychopathy. Furthermore, her consistent tone, calm, measured, and emotionally detached. Despite these doubts, Athena Walker has continued to engage with her audience, addressing criticisms head-on at times. She doesn't shy away from the skepticism, often reminding people that psychopathy isn't inherently tied to violence or criminal behavior and that many people with psychopathic traits live law-abiding, successful lives. Her story also touches on larger ethical debates about self-diagnosis and the responsibility of people who share such stories online. Athena's willingness to provide advice and offer insights into psychopathy raises questions about the influence she might have on readers, especially those who might feel they share similar traits. Could her narrative unintentionally inspire others to embrace the label of psychopathy without professional diagnosis? At the heart of Athena Walker's story is a fascinating tension: the allure of an insider's view into a mental disorder that society often fears, combined with the skepticism that comes with anonymity and the ability to craft one's identity online. Whether Athena is a real psychopath or a well-crafted persona, her story has sparked important conversations about how we understand psychopathy, mental health, and the fine line between truth and performance in the digital age. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.